The man was on the train, heading home. Suddenly he felt the train shake violently. A bad feeling began to rise within him. Sure enough, not long after, the train derailed and a serious accident occurred. Meanwhile, the son, who was home alone, was watching the news and saw the report. He knew his father was on that train. The man opened his eyes again, only to find himself lying in the hospital. To the doctor's surprise, he was the only survivor of the entire incident. The hospital was crowded with people searching for their loved ones. Compared to the other victims, everyone was puzzled by how David was unscathed. Soon, with his wife and son by his side, David returned home. He himself couldn't understand how he was so lucky. So he went to his room to rest. Soon the city held a grand funeral for the victims. After attending the funeral, David prepared to drive home. As he looked at the car window, he found a card. The card had only one sentence. "How many times in your life have you been sick?" This sentence made David fall into deep thought, because he couldn't remember the last time he was sick. He looked around, but didn't see anything unusual. So David went to his workplace. He was a security guard at a university sports stadium. Even when it rained, he had to ensure the stadium's safety. After work, he specially went to ask his superior how many sick days he had taken. His superior thought he was asking for a raise because he hadn't taken sick leave in 5 years. The man was also surprised that he had never taken sick leave. When he got home, he also asked his wife the same question, but his wife couldn't remember how many times he had been sick either. It seemed like David had never even had a basic cold or fever. What this meant, neither of them had a clue. Soon David found the person who left the card, following the clues. He took his child to meet this person. The person shared his story. Eli's physical condition was completely different from David's. He had been physically weak since childhood, easily injured by the slightest touch. Eli didn't like interacting with others, so his mother sent him comics, which made him believe in the existence of Superman. When he grew up, Eli opened a comic book store. He never gave up on the idea of finding Superman. Until he saw David's news report, he was convinced that his guess was about to come true. Eli told David and his son his thoughts. At this point, he learned from Jack that David had given up his football career due to an injury. Instantly he realized that David was not the superhero he had been looking for. Eli, who had been searching for a superhero, felt a bit disappointed. Later, David took his son and returned home. Back home, he looked at his own news again, lost in thought. Then he went to the warehouse and searched for the newspaper that had reported the incident back then. The article said that this week, the football star had suffered a major injury in an accident. But in reality, he wasn't injured in that accident. The only ones injured were the other team members. As for why he gave up football, only he knew the reason behind it.